How much do you imagine it costs to send a child to public school in Hinds County every year? $5,000? $10,000 maybe? Or $15,000? Actually, according to data from the Mississippi Department of Education, when you divide the number of students attending school by the total expenditure, in 2023-2024, Hinds County spent $16,589 per student. That's more than twice the average private school fees in our state. Indeed, $16,589 is not far off what it would cost to put your child in a top private school. Now ask yourself if each child in Hinds County is getting a top education for that $16,589. Of course not. A large chunk of the kids there can't read or write properly. 1 in 3 of them routinely skips school. So why not give families in Hinds County the right to take a portion of that $16,500 and allocate it to a school of their choice? It's not just Hinds County. The same question could be asked in Madison, where $17,000 is spent for every public school pupil per year, or Rankin County, where it's $15,000 per pupil per year, or Canton, where it's $18,600 per pupil per year, or DeSoto, where it's $13,800 per pupil per year. Even if you take the Department of Education's own more conservative figure for per pupil spending, which includes all the no-show students, Mississippi still spends an average of $14,676 per year per student. Despite all that money, 4 in 10 fourth graders in Mississippi public schools can't read properly. 8 in 10 eighth grade kids in Mississippi were not proficient in math in 2022. 1 in 4 kids in this state routinely misses school. Nor has $14,676 per student translated into better teacher pay. Notwithstanding recent pay increases, our teachers still earn significantly less than they did in 2010 when you adjust for inflation. If you happen to be one of the fortunate families happy with the public education options available, great. No need to change. And no one's proposing any changes that will affect you. But why not allow those families unhappy with how things are the freedom to take their tax dollars to a school that best meets their needs? Suggesting this provokes outrage from not parents, but from various vested interests who like things the way they are. They like a system that puts the $14,676 they get for your child into their administration budget, rather than the classroom. School superintendents making more than the governor want to keep control of their multi-million-dollar budgets for a reason. It's a bondugal for bureaucrats. School choice will not impoverish public schools. The legislation that Speaker Jason White is proposing would allow families control over the state portion of funding, not locally raised revenues or federal dollars. In Hinds County, for example, that would mean families being able to allocate no more than $6,700 of the $16,500 overall per pupil funding. Actually, rather than depleting Hinds County Public Schools' budget, actually it would make Hinds County better off in terms of per pupil spend. Now, giving families control over $6,700 of the state funds will not mean a flood of kids coming into your well-run school district. Why? Because the legislation proposed specifically gives school boards the final say on capacity. What anti-school choice campaigners really fear is not the wrong kids coming to your school district. What they fear is that you would start wondering what the heck they've been doing with the $14,600 they get for your child or grandchild every year. All of the arguments we're now hearing against school choice in Mississippi have been heard in each of the surrounding states that have since adopted school choice. We've heard these arguments again and again. Alabama's new Education Savings Account program, which has just opened for applications, has been wildly oversubscribed. The program provides $7,000 per year funding per student attending a participating private school, while those enrolled in home education programs are eligible for $2,000 per student. Arkansas allows all K through 12 students access to an education savings account from 2025, into which the state government pays the state portion of per pupil funding. In Arkansas's case, that's $6,600 per year. Families will be able to use this $6,600 that they're given to pay for their child's education, including private school tuition. Arkansas also allows public-to-public school transfers, allowing districts to define capacity, pretty much what we're proposing to do here in Mississippi. Louisiana's Gator program, meanwhile, starts in 2025-2026 and establishes an education savings account for those on low incomes, with the details still being finalized as the law's only recently been passed. Louisiana already has public-to-public school choice. Texas and Tennessee, too, are at this very moment debating legislation that will create a universal education savings account for families in those states, too. None of the scare stories we now hear in Mississippi materialized in any of those neighboring states. None of those states has been bankrupted, like the critics claimed, by letting mum and dad have parent power. Instead, all the evidence suggests school choice has started to improve education outcomes.